Hello and welcome to my ePortfolio, a culminating project that is meant to capture my capstone experience in the Masters of Educational Technology program at the University of British Columbia. This ePortfolio is directed at all educators at the graduate level, including my peers from ETEC 590, my instructor, Dr. Frank Fung, and ultimately myself. By completing this ePortfolio on ETEC 590, I will have met the requirements to graduate from the MET program and obtain Category 6 status under the Teacher Qualification Service in British Columbia. This academic and professional accomplishment will also bring me great personal satisfaction. Along with these accomplishments, this ePortfolio is meant to showcase how I have grown as a technophile, an educator, and a lifelong learner. My ePortfolio is intended to be organized in a logical manner. From the Home tab and its drop-down box, the basis of my ePortfolio is introduced. This includes the purpose and goals, my metaphor, and an explanation of how I selected my artifacts. Also included in this section is a little background information about myself. The four middle tabs contain the selected artifacts, and their titles tie into my metaphor, which will be explained later. Balanced ecosystems refers to assignments that very much fit within my learning and/or pedagogical beliefs. Fringes of the ecosystem include artifacts that force me out of my comfort zone and challenges with respect to the design of the assignment or the content. The artifacts within catastrophic events cause major upheavals in my pedagogical practices and beliefs, as well as cognitive dissonance. The final tab that contains artifacts focuses on group work, and social learning, an important aspect of constructivism and the MET program. Thus, it is titled Part of the Herd. The last tab, which is titled Ecological Land Survey, contains my final reflections, a rubric for the intent of assessing my ePortfolio, and a list of references. Navigating through my ePortfolio can be accomplished from the tabs in the drop-down boxes. But at the bottom of every page, except for the last page, there's a button labeled Next. Pressing these buttons will guide you through the entire ePortfolio in a straightforward, linear fashion. In case you would like to backtrack to the previous page, there are also buttons labeled Back. Common themes of journeys, advancement in learning, and improved pedagogy emerged from observing ePortfolios from previous years and participating in the discussion forums of ETEC 590. These experiences, in combination with my background in biology, gave birth to my metaphor. At the time, I was not aware, but I had also been influenced by readings from the MET program that includes Marshall McLuhan, Thorstein Veblen, and the combined work of Yong Zhao and Kenneth Frank. In order to fully understand my metaphor, I will give a brief background of evolution and some other biological terms. In biology, evolution is the process where species change over time, allowing the species to be better adapted to surviving in its environment. Meanwhile, coevolution is the process where two or more species evolve together due to their interaction with each other in nature. Coevolution can occur from the following situations: predator-prey interactions, competition for resources, and mutualistic relationships. The metaphor for this ePortfolio will focus on an example of mutualistic coevolution. A mutualistic relationship is an interaction where the species involved benefit from their interaction with each other. An example of mutualism is when a pollinator, such as a hummingbird, is rewarded by the nutrients that a flower provides, and in turn, the hummingbird ensures the proliferation of the flower species by transferring its pollen. Thus, the survival of one species is dependent on the other, and vice versa. As a new generation arrives, individuals that have genes with characteristics that increase their chance to survive are more likely to procreate, thus passing on these genes and changing the appearance of the species over time. In the example of the hummingbird and the flower, flowers could produce pigments in the petals that are better at attracting hummingbirds. thus ensuring that their pollen and their genes are transferred to the offspring. Flowers that have the genetic predisposition to produce large amounts of nectar would also ensure that hummingbirds survive. Conversely, the ability of hummingbirds' feathers to transport pollen is a characteristic that has the potential to evolve as well. Thus, the survival of both species is dependent on how they evolve together. As mentioned earlier, coevolution can occur with two or more species. In the example of my metaphor, I will look at three species: the student, the teacher, and technology. The relationship between teacher, student, and technology can also be seen as mutualistic. Teachers affect students by providing them the chance to gain knowledge, expand their interests, and raise their metacognitive awareness. In turn, students provide teachers with opportunities to improve their pedagogical practice and their leadership skills. As for the students of today, they see technology as a necessity and not a luxury. Their smartphones provide instant feedback and stimulating virtual worlds. Thus, they expect this in their instruction, and teaching practices must change. Meanwhile, teachers who use similar technology also recognize the affordances this technology brings to the classroom. Students and teachers also demand that their technology becomes seamless, faster, and with better graphics. Thus, the technology must also evolve. In my metaphor of mutualistic coevolution, the pressures and demands of one species cause the other species to change. Thus, all species progress forward and evolve together. Thank you.